Echoes of a hidden truth. You shouldn't have come. The words echoed from the dark. The more I heard them, the more intense they became. But then another sound. Aduke, my love, overshadowed it. You won't blame a man for choosing love over a voice in the dark, will you? Those were the exact words Akani used. Let me take you on a quick dive into the tale of a young orphan who fell in love with the princess of his land. The princess was very sick, and with each passing sunset, it seemed like she was drawing closer to death. One fateful day, the chief priest entered the palace and requested a private meeting with the king. Everyone wondered what was happening, but no one dared question the king and his wicked ways. "My lord, there is one among the royals who has a bastard," the chief priest said. "Then fish out the person. What are you waiting for?" the king replied. "It is connected to the princess's sickness. The only way to find out is either by asking all your 4 queens to tell the truth, or by sending someone who is not of royal blood to enter the jungle to find the antidote that will heal the princess." "But my lord," the priest warned, "the person will not come out alive." "No problem," the king replied, "as long as I don't know the person." "One more thing," the priest added, "whosoever gave birth to the bastard will die after the princess is healed." The king paused for a while and decided to choose the second option. In his words, "Whosoever dares bring a bastard into my palace is not worth living." A few hours later, an announcement was made round the village. They needed a young man to enter the jungle of survival to find the antidote that could save the princess. In return, the king might consider allowing the princess to marry whoever succeeds. Akani, an orphan who lived in the village and had always dreamed of marrying the princess, volunteered. The next day, the priest and his fellow priests see Akani off to the jungle. On getting to the front of the forest, they all paused. All the men present were wearing white except Akani, who wore black. The priest started his incantation. After the incantation, Akani stepped into the forest. All the priests turned back. On entering the jungle, he saw an old woman who looked very sad. The more he looked at her, the more blood came out of his nose. He had to run. Then he saw a cave. As he was about to enter, he heard a voice. "You shouldn't have come." The words kept echoing from the dark. The more he heard them, the more intense they became. But then another sound, "Aduke, my love," overshadowed it. He entered, but a hand forced him out as a voice echoed, "Forbidden." Then the unexpected happened. The king fell very ill, and that was when the truth was revealed. The chief priest came to the palace and said, "My lord, what I told you the other day has come to pass." He then asked the queen that has a child outside the palace to step out. One of the queens confessed that the Princess Aduke is not king's daughter. The priest paused in confusion and said, "I'm not talking about the princess who gave birth to Akani." The question no one has been able to answer till date. Akani was a royal. He came from one of the royals. Day after day, days turned into weeks as the king shrank and became more sick, which eventually led to his death. Akani survived the jungle. He returned not just as a hero, but as the man who had faced death for love and won. The kingdom rejoiced, and the once dying Princess Aduke stood by his side as his bride. But before all of this, before the celebration, before the truth came to light, there was a maid, a nameless girl unseen in the shadows of the palace halls. She had been raped not by the king as the world knew him now, but long ago when he was still a young prince. It happened at night under the cloak of darkness, and he never saw her face. To him it was nothing, to her it changed everything. Fear gripped her, shame swallowed her whole. When her belly began to swell, she hid it beneath clothes and silence. And when the child came, she did what she thought was the only thing left to do. She wrapped him in clothes, whispered a prayer, and left him by the riverside. That child was Akani. A kind couple found him, raised him and loved him, and gave him a name. He grew up unaware of his bloodline, carrying only his dreams and a hunger to prove himself. And now the people chant his name, the orphan, the brave, the one who healed the princess and survived the jungle of survival. You must have so many questions. How do I know all this? Because I was the maid. I was too ashamed to speak, too afraid to look the king in the eye and tell that I am Akani's mother. Sometimes our fears hold us back longer than we expect. If I had spoken up, maybe the king would still be alive. Perhaps they wouldn't believe me, but at least the king would have considered the queen's perspective. Our actions have consequences that often ripple far beyond what we can handle.